If you see a great photo op these days, there's a pretty good chance that you're just going to reach out for your smartphone. But digital cameras are still on the market, and they're getting smaller and more advanced every year. Consumer Reports associate editor Terry Sullivan joins us this morning to talk about why you still might want to buy a digital camera. Terry, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Most smartphones, though, they still do take great pictures, right?
Well, smartphones will take great pictures when there's bright light and the subject is relatively close to you and it's not moving around a lot. It's rather stationary. But but cameras, both basic and advanced, will excel when you go out of that into other areas in low light or when there's lots of motion and so forth.
So that's the reason that consumers should consider buying digital cameras. While they may have similar amount of megapixels, it's really those intangibles and the extras that make digital cameras so much better.
Right. For example, one of the big trends in digital cameras is an area that we call SLR-like or mirrorless cameras. That's like this camera from Sony. It's called the Nix 7. Now, this camera has a lot in common with the SLRs of the past that were larger and bulkier, but you can see how thin this is. This also has an articulating LCD that actually flips out from the camera. But these cameras have removable lenses, so you can get lots of different high-quality lenses to attach to the camera. It also lets you attach a external flash onto the camera. This is great for improving your flash photos, which is where smartphones really fall down in flash photography. SLR-like cameras do a wonderful job in this. This also has a wonderful OLED viewfinder. This almost looks like you're looking through the lens like you would in an SLR. So SLR-like is one area that are really excelling. Another area are called tough or waterproof cameras. These sorts of cameras allow you to go into the water, go down into the into the pool or to the ocean. It also lets you drop the camera because they're shockproof. So if you have children, these are great cameras to have. One such camera is the Panasonic Lumix TS4. It's about $270. This camera lets you go into the water about 16 feet underwater. You can drop the camera from about 6.5 feet. It also has a GPS feature. So if you're headed over to the Olympics and you want to have the location data stamped into your photos and video, well, this is the camera for you. It'll stamp it right into the image.
Well, Terry, let's say we are headed to the Olympics or to an event like that. I think a lot of people love their smartphones because when they take a picture, they can just click and then they can email it and then they can do all this stuff. But with older cameras and the traditional big cameras, it was hard to get them onto your computer and then off to other people. How's that changing?
Well, some smartphones, well, as you said, all smartphones can do that. Some cameras do have Wi-Fi capabilities, not the same 3G or 4G kind of connectivity that the smartphones have, but they do have Wi-Fi on, say some Samsung cameras are being really popular with Wi-Fi features, and you can upload them right directly to a hotspot to social networking sites like Facebook and Flickr and YouTube. So they are coming along, and we're seeing a lot more of them coming with Wi-Fi features, which is exciting.
Last question, Terry. If people are going to be a stickler, if they want to stick with their smartphone and just get the simple pictures, how can they increase their pictures that they're taking with their smartphones?
One thing they want to do, there's actually three things you want to do. Stay away from zooming. Zooming on a smartphone is going to give you digital zoom, and it's going to increase the noise and degrade picture quality. Stay away from that and crop later to effectively do the same thing as zooming. Another thing is know your smartphone's camera features. For instance, generally you can't change the shutter speed to freeze the action, but you might try a scene mode that does effectively the same thing. A sports scene mode is going to freeze the action. A night scene mode will increase the shutter speed to give you better quality in low light. Plus, try looking into some third-party lenses that fit right over your tiny camera lens that's on your smartphone. This will give you a telephoto to get you closer to the action. Another one will give you wide angle or even a fisheye lens to give you kind of like a psychedelic look to your image. Lastly, you might try a third-party lens that does macro photos and video for close-up photography. Wonderful shots that you can take of flowers or close-up shots.
Well, whether we're using our smartphone and we're taking the plunge and buying a digital camera, you've helped improve our photography ability. So thank you for coming on the show today.
You're welcome.